Hey YouTube, what's going on? Chris here. I want to bring you all an update on Bitcoin and Litecoin. We're going to start with Bitcoin. Obviously, guys, it's the big daddy. Right now, we're at $10,699. We're up 3.07%. What we're going to be looking at today is this descending triangle. And I'm actually going to give you some facts out of the Encyclopedia of Chart Patterns. And I'm going to basically tell you if we break to the upside, how far we potentially go and where we're going to target, and also to the downside and what we look for out of these descending triangles. So right now, what we're dealing with is a slight reaction. Okay, so we came down, we hit this bottom here, so this horizontal. And whenever you're in a descending triangle, you're going to have lower highs and then that flat bottom. So now we're having a nice little move out of here. And what happened was yesterday, we actually closed directly below this 50-day moving average. And that's going to be in white there. And I want you to pay attention to that. So we did see a little bit of rejection there. But what's nice is today we're getting a little bit more follow through. So today's candle is going to be extremely important, whether we close up above this 50 or if we see a lot of rejection and we get pushed back down. And today, guys, it's September 3rd, 2019. It's 10:14 a.m. Eastern time for me. So the next overhead resistance that we're going to be looking at here, and what you always want to do is take this resistance, guys, resistance support, and really take a look at them. So the next stop we want to see what we do here with is $10,928. That's going to be a key area for us, because what that potentially could do is us, if we get up above that, we could set a slight higher high, then we need to come back down, set a higher low, then hopefully break out through this descending triangle to the top if we are to move to the upside. Now, let me read a little bit about this descending triangle, because we're directly still in it, guys. This here is just a little reaction that's taken place. So I'm glad that it's taking place, and we're up above this 10 EMA, and we're up above the 20, and you're starting to get, a potential golden cross there taking place. But we want to pay attention, and we really want to look to see if this is just going to be a reaction or if this is going to be a true breakout. So what it says about descending triangles. All right, so they're tied for number 5. Descending triangles are tied for 5th place with rounding bottoms. This chapter assumes an upward breakout from a descending triangle, although downward breakouts occur 64% of the time. So in a descending triangle, they're going to break to the downside more often than they are to the upside, but that doesn't mean that they can't break to the upside, guys. This could be a massive, basically almost continuation flag pattern to where we have a massive breakout out of here. That's always possible. That's why I said we want to target those upside and those downsides, and then we want to ride the coattails of the whales when they make their moves. So downward breakout about 64% of the time. The 47% average rise ranks second, and the number assumes perfectly traded patterns, so your results will vary. The break-even failure rate is 7%, meaning that 7% of the patterns have prices that fail to rise at least 5% after the breakout. Once prices reach the ultimate high, it tumbles 30%, placing the pattern 7. So what they're saying is if you have a massive breakout out of here, sometimes, guys, you can fall back as much as 30%. That happens a decent amount of time. It goes on to say here, basically, that it shows an example of a descending triangle. Prices along the bottom of the pattern touch a horizontal or near horizontal trend line. Along the top, the trend slopes downward, ending with the 2 trend line touches at a triangle apex. And then it goes on to continue to show more examples of this. But what I want you guys to be aware of is that if we do get a 30% breakout, and say we have it from up here, we want to get our targets in here. So price range targets could be right up in this area, guys. So 30, we'll say roughly 30%. Will take us around that 14,500. If you see a really strong break out of this trend line, guys, and what you want to see it on is heavy volume, and you want a 3% close up above. So your candle, what I was reading about yesterday in one of my books, is that the candle, you want it to close outside of this trend line, but you want it to be basically close up above it by 3% or more. And that's going to verify or confirm that that is a true trend line break. And same to the downside. You want to look for those things. So that's why I'm saying if we step back and we take a look at this, we're determining, because this has been in an uptrend, we've been in a bull market, is this just going to be some type of flag pattern that we break out of and have continuation? Or are we still going to chop back in here until we find even more of that apex, then eventually break to the downside? That's what we want to look at. So remember, the odds are greater that we'll break to the downside, but there's still that possibility that we could break to the upside, that 35% chance or more that we could break to the upside, and we want to be aware of that, guys. And it's all going to start with first getting back up above this 50 moving average, which is key. We don't want to be trading below that. We don't want to be trading below our 20 either. And we got through our 10 EMA and our 20, and we closed up above them. So now it's just to see if we close up above that 50. So that's what I'm looking for on Bitcoin right now, guys. The next one we're going to go into is Litecoin. and I want to take a look at this. Now with Litecoin, same deal. We are potentially at a trend line break right here. So this is what we've been watching. Now, what we got to pay attention for, same deal. We need this candle to close 3% higher than this downtrend line today for it to be a true break, and we also want it to come on volume. Guys, today if we close right where we're at, we would close up above this 10 EMA, which we have not closed up above in quite a while now. It's really been a fight for us. So the last time we had a close up above it would have been August 5th, 2019. So it would be significant that we close up above that. Then what we would be doing is running into overhead resistance at 71.31. So this whole area that we chopped sideways for about 2 weeks, that is now going to be overhead resistance, as well as this 20 moving average in blue. And then we have the death cross taking place up above us. So right now, guys, it's a time that you just want to be careful. Like I said, I got stopped out down in this area. It was around $68. I got stopped out. I'm still sitting in cash right now. I'm watching this. We've had 5 positive days right now, and we just want to see if that's going to continue with the trend line break, or if we're going to see rejection in a long wick here, just like we did up here. Do you see this very long, almost shooting star candle where we wicked up through this trend line and then we fell back down? That's why you want to wait for the close. I can't emphasize the close enough. Now, if we have a beautiful close on good volume, then that may be a spot to, take a little long and see what we do up here with this 50-day moving average and this 200-day EMA. Because that's important that we're having that death cross right above us, guys. You don't want to neglect that. That is an important thing. So right now, it could just be a little reaction rally, but we're going to have to wait to see if we close 3% or more. I can't overemphasize that. 3% or more up above this trend line. And this is on the arithmetic scale. On the log scale, if we click to this, we have not had the trend line break yet. I do not believe so, guys. Let me redraw my lines here. So what I was reading about was basically if you're in a downtrend for trend line breaks, you want to use the arithmetic scale. If you're in an uptrend, you actually want to use the log scale. So that was something I was reading about yesterday. It was pretty interesting. So we're going to do our best to try to go off the real bodies here. So real bodies on the log scale, you can see we're not at that trend line yet. So I want to look at both things. I want to see on the arithmetic scale, and I want to see it on the log scale. But right now, since we're in that downtrend like I just talked to you about, we'll look at that arithmetic scale. Okay, so we'll go back, we'll pull off the log there. And guys, another key thing is we're fighting to get back up above this support range that we had at around $66.37. So that's good that we are trading back up above that, but we're just going to have to wait and see because we have lost that 0.618 Fibonacci, and that's an area we're going to have to get back up above as well. So let's take a look at that. Guys, we're running directly into the 0.618. Right now, you can see we wicked up through it. So this is your 0.618 is going to be around 69.80, and we have not closed up above that yet. So that's something we're going to be looking for today. But right now, guys, just in my opinion, I think one of the safest places to be is in cash, because not a lot of bulls are going to be going long until they see a breakout in either direction. Long or short, they're not going to go until they see confirmation on Bitcoin. And if we go back to Bitcoin, like I said, until we see a breakdown out through here and we have that candle close, or we get up above this high here and we can break this trend line here, this downtrend line, then maybe that's the time to start going long. But right now, it's just a very sticky area, and I don't see a lot of bulls jumping in right now when we do have this overhead resistance or these lower highs pumping in right now. And that's just what I'm looking at, guys. So I wanted to bring this to you. I didn't want to make it too long. I just wanted to look at price action. I didn't get into any of the indicators today. If you look at the RSI, which I can go real quick with you on. So let's go to my favorites, relative strength index. So with our relative strength index, we were actually having a little bit of a trend line break here, which was good on the RSI to the upside right there. You can see we're slightly starting to break out, and we just have to see if it's going to be one of those little breakouts and we come back and test and then move farther, or if it's just going to be a false break. But I think right now is the time just to be patient, really look at this descending triangle and see which way we're going to end up breaking, guys. That's the best advice that I can give you. There's been so many times, like on Litecoin, if we switch back to that. On Litecoin, I've done this before. Say you're playing a trend line break. So let's draw our trend line back on here. Clear off a few different spaces. So with our trend line, we'll go off the real bodies. There's been many days where I've seen it basically, guys, we'll start to get up above that trend line, but I didn't wait for the candle close. I just basically said, okay, we're up above it. It's a trend line break. I'm going to go in there. And a lot of times you can get burned by that. So that's why I said always wait for that 3% or more candle close up above the valid trend line on good volume, and then maybe that's the time to jump in. But just watch these moving averages pressing overhead. We're still not up above the 50, guys. We ended up losing the 50 July 9th, 2019, and ever since then we've just been getting pushed down. And remember, there's always going to be more opportunities, guys. The main thing in this game is to ride the coattails of the big whales. That's all we can do, because right now Litecoin could blast off, we could go back all the way up, to $100, or we could get pushed down very low down to that $50. We're at a critical area right now. So guys, if you like these videos, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I appreciate you all being here with me today. I'll continue to do the best I can to get you this information out. But right now, I think it's the time to be patient. We're having a little bit of a reaction, and we just have to see if we start getting that confirmation. We really need the confirmation. Even that, 10 EMA crossing over the 20 would be nice to see. So those are things I'm looking at, guys. Let me know down below what you think. I'll do the best that I can to get back to the comments as soon as I can. It's been a little crazy around here, but I'll do all I can, guys. Take care and God bless.